Okay, example 11, not too bad. Very good, quite well done. Just check your vertical asymptote first thing here. Can I emphasize something? If your y-axis is your asymptote, make sure you label it like that. Because you can't draw a dotted line, you know. Because this is an asymptote. In order for you to demonstrate that you know this is an asymptote, label it x equals to 0. Label it x equals to 0. Because you can't draw a dotted line. Now, similarly, I also want to emphasize this. The tail end behavior here. Look here. As x tends to negative infinity, y tends to infinity. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Huh? X tend to negative infinity, fx tend to infinity. Which means that 1 over fx should tend to 0. So which means here, y equals to 0 is actually a horizontal asymptote as well. Make sense? So that means here it will translate to here. So these two are the ones that some of you may have missed out. Follow? Similarly for this part as well. Here. X tends to infinity. Fx tend to negative infinity. 1 over fx also tend to 0. But this is minus, this is plus. Correct? Minus 0 plus just means it's a little bit more than 0. 0 minus means it's a little bit less than 0. Fine? Get it? Questions? Yes. Which point 0? This one, and then here. This becomes a vertical asymptote. There's no point, there's no 0, 0. Because if it's 0, 0, you take reciprocal of 0, you get undefined. So it becomes a vertical asymptote. Okay? Okay, example 12. Okay. Example 12, I think you should know how to do it by yourself. Huh? Wait, I hide the answer first. Huh? Now cannot see. Oh, this is a bit complicated, but should not be too bad, okay? Okay, let's spend a bit of time thinking about it. Don't have to complete your answer, but make sure you at least get the asymptotes out. Okay, make sure you get the asymptotes out. Then we can do it together. At least you can mark out the asymptotes, yeah? The idea is really just to take reciprocal of all the y coordinates. Y coordinates. Okay, what?
The asymptote is the x intersection.
Yes, very good.
Right.
You know why, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Can label then. Okay, what happens to 0, 2, for example? Yeah, good. Okay, so mark 0, 1 over 2. At least you know no matter how ugly your graph looks like, it should pass through that point, right? So these are the things that you constrain yourself. What happens to the point 0, 2? You ask yourself. And what happens to the vertical asymptote? And that's also quite important. That means x equals to negative 1. What happens? Okay, I guess some of you may need a bit of help. Okay, this is a draft only, okay? Draft only, don't copy. I will show you a nicer graph here later, okay? Now, we should all know that definitely this point, -2, becomes a vertical asymptote. And here 1.5, not 2, okay? Oh. X equals to 1.5. So that means no matter how that means no matter how ugly your graph looks like, you should have at least these two asymptotes. Alright? And let's see if we can see any more things. Okay. This one is the one that I want to focus on. X equals to -1, this vertical asymptote. What happens to it? You're going to take reciprocal of all the y coordinates. That means as x tends closer and closer to -1, y tends to infinity. 1 over infinity, you get 0. So which means this point 1 must lie on your 1 over fx. Okay, pause here for a while. Make sure you understand this. Oh, -1. Sorry. I'm so sorry. -1. Okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, don't focus here. Don't look here. Look here. Is there another x-intercept that I can mark? Yes. 2. X equals to 2. Correct? So here. I don't know whether you will get marks if you just do this lah. I doubt it lah. But you must draw something lah. But it's actually quite constrained now. You see, you have these two asymptotes, you have these two intercepts. Can we do a bit more? What happens to 0, 2? Becomes 0 half, right? So 0 half. Zero half. Now, I think we are ready. Let's then divide the graph into 3 sections. Smaller than -2, between -2 to 1.5, and between 1.5 to infinity. So let's focus on this part. Okay, only this part. That means from -infinity to 2, stop here. It is decreasing. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one point. I'm so sorry, y-intercept here. This becomes quite obvious, a y asymptote. Y equals to 2. Okay? Am I right? Can? Because you're gonna take 1 over half. Correct? You're gonna take reciprocal of all the y coordinates. So definitely this is 1, y equals to 2. So I think we can proceed. Now, you know this entire section is decreasing. This decreasing. So this portion should be increasing. Okay? Which is why I say my graph a bit problem. Put here. Okay? So, it should increase like that. There's only one way to increase this. And you must know that it also lies above the x-axis because all the y coordinates are positive. Follow what I'm saying? Correct? Are positive. So there's only one way to do this. You cannot sketch here. Dear, you can't. Because you know as x tends to -infinity, fx tends to 0.5. So it should tend closer to this one. The horizontal asymptote should be there. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay. Now next. The next part is the most tricky. The center portion, what I call it. The center portion is tricky because you have entire section that decrease all the way here. Okay? We have just settled this portion, yeah? Again, I say, from 2, don't get confused over -2 all the way to 1.5. -2 all the way to 1.5. We stop here. We don't stop at the asymptote, we stop here. Okay. This whole entire section is decreasing. So this whole entire section, it should be increasing all the way. And this from -2 to -1 is below the x-axis. From -1 to 1.5 it's positive. So you think about it, there's only one way to sketch this. Because you know it should increase, increase, increase. There's only one way to do it. It should increase all the way because this entire portion decrease. This entire portion decrease all the way. And this section is below, this section is below, this section is above, this section is above. The x-axis, I mean. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now finally, last portion. I'm talking about this portion, 1.5 onwards, like that. It's decreasing all the way towards the y, towards the horizontal asymptote. So, and it should therefore increase to the horizontal asymptote. And this portion is below, this portion is below, that portion is above, that portion is above. So notice the colors do help you to understand a little bit. If you do it by yourself without the colors, you may get confused. Okay, I'm going to pause here for 1 minute. Think time. Try not to. Can we highlight the parts? I try not to. Okay? 1 minute think time. Yes? Your graph different from mine.
Yeah, then becomes increasing.
No, can't be. Oh, yes. Sorry. Can you all, thanks for highlighting. There's this portion on your notes, here. You may want to make a correction. Okay? Your notes is different from mine. Huh? So your notes was like that. No, make this correction. This is the correct one. Okay? Please make the correction, this part. Okay? Thanks. Thank you very much. Okay? So this is what you should present. The colors help us to understand. Okay? The highlighting help us to understand, but this is the final answer. Good? Ken?